this core group, as I mentioned earlier, 12 seasons together. They've been together forever.
Hell no.
He loses Brooks not once but twice. And then he makes another one. His fourth.
Just got a free one. Here he comes. Oh, Steph out of the corner. Oh, he got another one.
That's disrespectful. Look at himself.
Down to 35 seconds left. Chris Paul can't hit the three. Kuminga trying to keep it alive. He does. Curry. Oh, yeah!
Steph's got it. 8 seconds. The three to win the game.
Got it! He hits it with 5.5.
Sleep. And he gives the night-night. The preseason.
Unless you're living under a rock, you're probably aware that Steph Curry is already destroying the league, even though we're just about a week into the new season. I mean, after dropping their season opener against the Suns, the Dubs won 4 games in a row. And during this stretch, the Chef came out ballin' and cooked up mind-blowing numbers. 31.9 points on 54.3% shooting from the field, 45.9% from 3, and 93.1% from the foul line. And on top of that, he also added 5.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1 steal to round up his hot start. Now, I know that there's still a ton of games left to be played, and this sample size isn't that big enough to really gauge or predict how Steph's stock will trend this season. But if the MVP voting officially starts now, it would be crazy not to put my money on Steph with the way he's killing it on the court right now. And so, with that said, let's talk about how Steph has been able to play at this insane level at age 35. Now, out of all the crazy highlights that the Chef has been pulling off thus far, I want to specifically focus on his incredible shot-making ability first. I mean, with 20 seconds still left on the shot clock, GP2 handled the ball to Steph. And when he noticed that his defender was sticking to him like a leech, the Chef took advantage of this by using his experience to fish for a foul, which somehow ended up being a 4-point play. Now, knowing that the Pelicans would blitz him if he went over the screen, Steph then changed gears to catch the defense on its heels. And even though there was one red shirt tailing him while Larry Nance was on the drop, Steph just floated one in off the glass to make everything look so easy. In this sequence, look at how he schooled Matt Ryan with the nasty hezzy before driving inside and scooping it in traffic. And how about this one? As Steph crosses the half court, he puts his man on skates with a simple crossover to create the separation before splashing down his high looping three. Well, speaking of making threes, the Chef made history after their game against the Kings by becoming the first ever player in NBA history to make a three-pointer in 250 straight regular season games. Another milestone achievement to prove that he's the best shooter on this planet. Now, in those first 5 games, not only was Steph killing the opposition from range, but he was also destroying them whenever he drove inside the paint. See, here's Steph on top of the key, recognizing that a big man is on him. The Chef dances with Eubanks to shake him off, then he just glides all the way to the rim for the easy 2. Now, when he noticed that Booker was not in a proper defensive stance, Steph just blew by him using his deceiving speed, and once again, he finished it off with another scoop layup with Booker all over him. And check out this one. The Kings were soft doubling Steph in this possession. Now, when Mitchell came over to help Barnes, Steph simply breezed through them using his quick first step to go ahead to the cup and lay it in. In the first 5 games, Steph showed tremendous efficiency whenever he drove, as he shot 66.7% and converted 3.8 points out of 5.8 drive attempts. In addition, 10.3% of the Dubs' total assists also came from Steph's inside incursions. And he also registered 41.4% in terms of pass percentage in this type of situation. Now, speaking of which, Steph was also phenomenal in the assist department during their first 5 outings, and there were many times when he got his teammates a couple of good looks, which, in turn, translated into easy baskets. Take this play right here. Here's Steph engaging in a 2-man game with Looney. Since Sabonis showed up to contain him, this allowed Steph to attract 2 defenders, and when he saw a slight gap in their defense, Steph squeezed in a nice pass to Looney, who then laid it in. Now, in this sequence, Steph snakes his way through the pick and roll, And when he gets hounded by two defenders, he once again finds the open man by throwing a left-handed bullet pass on target and on time. Anyway, here's another one. So here's a pin down action for Steph, and right after curling above the screen, he saw Draymond slipping inside, and he just threw a laser dart pass to him for a wide open layup. Now, you can see in this graphic right here that Steph loves to set up his bigs like Looney and Draymond, just like what you saw in the previous clips. But aside from them, Steph is also on the lookout for shooters and cutters like Klay, Wiggins, and Kuminga whenever he gets sandwiched by the defense inside the lane. The things that Steph has been doing so far and the numbers he's been putting up are truly spectacular. But what really impresses me most about his game right now and in the previous seasons is his ability to get himself open through non-stop off-ball movement. I mean, here's Corey Joseph penetrating inside. As soon as he got stopped in his tracks, look at how Steph found the angle and cut inside the lane, coming from the weak side. Joseph then hands it off to Steph, who then lays it in using his left hand. Now here's another example of how Steph gets rewarded for his constant activity. After setting a pick for Klay, Looney then sets a pin down screen for Steph. With Allen trailing him from behind, Steph made a nice curl to get himself open. And despite Nurkic's presence, all he needed was a bit of daylight to splash this one home. In this play, Huerter thought that the Dubs were gonna run a dribble handoff here with Steph. However, when he saw him cheating, Steph quickly went backdoor to lose his man, and this resulted in a practice layup yet again. And finally, check out this last clip. So after receiving the ball from CP3, Steph fakes off his defender and then gives the ball back to him. Now, look at how Steph relocates here, as he kept moving the moment he gave the ball up, and once CP3 recognizes that the defense is broken down, he swings it back to Steph, and he just knocks it down like he always does. According to the NBA Advanced Stats, Steph covered a total of 1.47 miles with all the running around and relocating that he's been doing in the first 5 games. And if you include his activity on the defensive end, Curry has already logged a total of 2.53 miles across just 5 games. Based on all the clips and the numbers that you just saw, Steph Curry has a solid case to be MVP if he can keep this type of momentum and stellar play until the end of the regular season. I mean, as long as the Dubs keep piling up the wins, I think Steph should without a doubt be in the MVP conversation along with Luka, Jokic, and other top-tier guys in the league. I mean, it's crazy to think that even though he's turning 36 this year, it's still quite impressive to see that Steph hasn't lost a step in year 15. With this said, let's just wait and be amazed at what Steph has in store for us in the upcoming days.